Hello my friends, welcome to our first live stream on this platform. I had a few live streams a year ago. We did some breathwork and pranayama, some meditation. But now I moved in a new apartment, in a new flat, and I made a small studio, something pleasurable for the eyes, that we can find ourselves in a more peaceful environment. And I needed some equipment, gear, and the right room location. And finally, after 2 years of waiting, I have a good room, so I can provide more live streams in future. I want to direct the channel in a direction where we can explore ourselves, where we can find the true meaning of peace, of love, of wisdom, teachings like the Bhagavad Gita, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, breathwork, pranayama sessions, meditations, other books about the self, about happiness, about how to find in life what is really important, how to understand who you truly are, and how to become free from stress, from fear, from anxiety. If you have any questions during the live stream, just leave a comment below. I just try to see if the sound is good, if the quality of the video is good, if you can understand everything, and I want to see the delay from the questions, and so I can get some experience. But probably not many will watch, but in future it will of course change. I will go more regularly live, maybe twice a week. I thought about some pranayama challenges, some meditation exercises, and let's have some discussions about yogic scriptures. Because the word yoga itself, nowadays we have this misconception about yoga. It's about stretching and Ashtanga yoga, some yoga flow, Surya Namaskar, to make the body, to make the mind healthy and good. But actually the word yoga itself comes from, in English, to yoke, to unite, to connect. So yoga is not just a bodily exercise. It will help us to sit in a comfortable sitting position, that we can focus inside, that we can bring the mind, the senses, to withdraw them from the sense objects that we find ourselves within, to the practice of pranayama, to go even deeper. And then we focus on meditation. But to meditate on what? First, we meditate, we experience that we are not this material body, that we are the soul. We're also not the mind, but the spiritual being within. And then that's not enough. At one point, we need to understand, okay, I'm a soul, but what does that mean? Where do I come from? Is there God? Is there Creator? Is there something higher than me? I'm not the body, I'm a soul. And I'm part and parcel of the divine being, Krishna. And I have a loving relationship in service and devotion. This is the goal of yoga. Yoga, to unite, to connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And there's different processes. For example, some practice jnana yoga, means the knowledge, the wisdom, to mental speculation, meditation, to renounce this material world, to renounce all the pleasure in life, and to focus on within. This is also a form of yoga, karma yoga, to act, but to renounce the fruits of your activities. And bhakti. Bhakti means the love and devotion, to express your gratitude, your love towards God. And there's Ashtanga yoga, we have the eightfold mystic process of yoga, very powerful, to really go within, to get free from desires, to get free from the fluctuations of the mind, to find yourself in Sattva Guna, and then you connect with God. We have dhyana yoga, meditation, mantra yoga, like the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's all kinds of forms of yoga, but the goal always is the same. The goal is to connect us with the divine being. And the benefits we get from these activities, from a spiritual lifestyle, the number one benefit is that you become free of fear. The whole world is driven by anxiety, by stress, and by fear. So the root cause of why we can't surrender, the root cause of why we can't love each other, love our neighbors, love to God, love to the universe, to the creation. The root cause is fear. It's the opposite. Fear, love, happiness, distress, black and white, masculine, feminine. This whole material world is all about these various dualities. What is happiness? Happiness is just removal of pain. You feel cold, you dress warm, you put the heating on. You're hungry, you eat. You're thirsty, you drink. So actually we're just removing our distress condition. But what is real happiness? Real happiness is not depending on anything in the outside. Real happiness, the real pleasure, we find within. Deep, if you look deep inside, then we can find the happiness what is not depending on anything else. In our condition, in our life, we're driven by the force, the power of fear. There's an interesting homepage, fearof.net, and that describes this different phobias and fears in life, like the fears of spiders, of snakes, of lizards, the fears of sharks, the fears of talking on a live stream maybe, or the fear of being alone, the fear of being not understood, the fear of being forgotten. So many fears. It's like when you read it, like we all are driven by these fears, the fears of existence, that we have not enough food to eat, that we have not enough money to survive, that we have no roof above our heads, that we have no one in life who loves us. There's so many various fears driving us to act in this material world. Just for a moment, what is your fear? Feel inside yourself. And we can't say we're fearless. The most common fear, what I think, is the fear of facing death. The fear of the unknown. And death will happen to all of us. Once one great king 5,000 years ago in India was asked, what is the most astonishing in life? And his answer was that everyone around us dies. Your brothers, your sisters, your family members, your friends, your loved ones, everyone has to leave this body. But we always think it will not happen to us. Somehow, we are so much in this illusion that this life will go on forever. But it can end at any time. So it's good to have some fear, that you understand. Like, you don't jump from a skyscraper because you know you will die. Or if you work somewhere, or if you drive with a car on a road where it's only allowed 50 and you drive 100, maybe a little bit anxious that something will happen. So whatever we do in life, we always have a little bit of understanding, hey, that could be dangerous. Maybe I should not go into this direction. So some fear is good. To be completely fearless and careless, it's the opposite extreme. But what I mean with being free from fear is that you not get conditioned anymore, that you don't react if you see a spider, a shark, if you're alone, or if you have no money. What if your boss kicks you out of your job today? He said, sorry, I don't need you anymore. Find you another job. I can't employ you anymore. And it will be very difficult. You lose your job, you lose your money, you lose your flat. Maybe your wife breaks up with you because you can't support you financially anymore. So what are you going to do then? And in these moments, when we practice yoga, when we are deeply connected, deeply rooted in a spiritual understanding, when our roots are deep, the foundation is built, then nothing, no storm, no not so bad circumstance, nothing can shake us, because we are deeply rooted in understanding, experience and realization that we are not this body, that I have nothing to do with this house, I have nothing to do with this camera in front of me, with this YouTube channel, with my family, with my friends. It's just some designations we got in this life, our false ego. Aham, I am. Yeah. Ishvaraham aham bogi. I'm the enjoyer and I'm the controller. But that's the illusion. There's a few ways out of it, how to deal with stressful situations, how we conquer our fears. One would be, for example, you focus on your breath through pranayama. The mind and the breath, they're both directly connected. So by controlling the breath, you can control the mind. Prana, the life force, and ayama means to control. Or yama, to hold back, to expand the life force. Just focus on yourself. Bring the awareness on the breath. Try it out for a minute. Close your eyes. And inhale in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale 4 seconds in and 6 seconds out. And make sure that the exhalation is a bit longer than the inhalation. Just forget about your thoughts, about your thinking, your willing, all your desires, and just focus consciously on the breath. And make the inhalation more active and the exhalation more passive. Just let the breath happen automatically. No pushing, no force. Just find the peace with the exhalation. No need to count anymore. Just let the breath happen. In, slowly inhale, belly, diaphragm, chest, and letting go. Let the breath carry you. And slowly open your eyes again. This was no pranayama, it was just conscious breathing, just to arrive in the present moment, to forget about the worries from the past, and all the worries you project into the future. The breath is a very wonderful tool to overcome your fears, your addictions, your worries, to be more focused, more clear, more happy, more peaceful, to experience the consciousness within, illuminating the whole body, like the sun is illuminating the whole universe. In the same way, you, the chitta, the consciousness, illuminating the whole body with life and awareness, wisdom. Yeah. Another way would be, again, close your eyes. What is your biggest fear in life? Picture this fear and frame it. Make it alive. What do you see? For some, it might be an animal. For others, it's heights or financial, existential problems. But whatever it is, be honest to you. What is your biggest fear in life? The fear of failure, the fear of becoming more spiritual, to losing the ground on your feet. Whatever it is, picture this fear. Which colors do you see? Make it alive. Which persons do you see? Or which other living entity? Maybe you even smell something or hear something. How does it feel? Not just seeing it with the inner eye. Also experience it with your emotions. Put your heart into it. Tap into this emotion of fear. It's okay, we're in a safe space, and I just want to let you help. Just want to help you to let go of this fear in your heart. Now take this fear, take the picture, and send it far, far away from your inner eye. More and more with each breath, this experience moves further and further into the space, and it becomes more tiny and tiny. You almost can't see it anymore. Make it as tiny as a small poppy seed, far away from you, completely distanced, has nothing to do with you. And now bring it back, slowly, more closer towards you. Slow, bring it to your heart center. And see the fear again, feel the fear. Could you feel the difference? And now consciously let go again. Send the fear very far away. Just let the fear float away like a balloon. With each breath, it goes further and further away from your energy field. And you almost can't see it anymore. And like a tiny poppy seed, it will just vanquish in the distance. Now take a deep breath into the nose and letting go out through the mouth a bit louder. 2 more times. And slowly open your eyes. So this is various techniques, the breath, the visualization, just letting go. It's easy and you can overcome many fears like this. Or you go deep into meditation, you feel the emotions, you accept, you connect and you let go. That's all possible by ourselves, by our own endeavor. But how to get fearless in the existence of material suffering? How to become convinced that there's more in life than eating, sleeping, defending and mating? That you understand that there's a spiritual kingdom and you're part of it. Everything is Brahman, the spiritual energy. But only now we can't perceive it because we think ourselves different. We identify ourselves through the false ego with this material world. A place of birth, old age, disease and death. But you, the soul, is Sat Chidananda. Sat means eternal. No beginning, no end. No birth, no death. Always there in the present moment. Chit, full of knowledge, wisdom, consciousness, awareness. And Ananda, bliss, pure happiness, transcendental spiritual ecstasy. That's the nature of the soul. In the Bhagavad Gita, a very famous text in the Hindu scripture, in the yogic lifestyle, in all the spiritual forms we know nowadays, actually the root are the Vedas. And the essence of the Vedas are the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan means the divine, means God who possesses the 6 opulences. And Gita means the song. So it's the song of the divine. And the Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. On this battlefield, Arjuna, he didn't know in this moment of time who he was. He was completely bewildered by the material creation. And he was right in front of the battle, leading the armies. And he all of a sudden got doubts and he couldn't fight anymore. And then he took shelter at Krishna's lotus feet and he prayed, Krishna, you're my friend, you're my master. Please instruct me in spiritual knowledge. And then Krishna, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, right before the battle of Kurukshetra. And he told him about the nature of the soul, that he is not the body, that there was never a time where he, the other soldiers, or Krishna didn't exist. They were all always existent. But he can't remember. Krishna, he can remember all the births, all the deaths, all his various forms. But we forget. He speaks about being equipoised to offer the fruits of your results, the results of your activities. To work without being detached, to perform your duty. It talks about karma, reincarnation. It explains how to leave this world, in which state of being, in which state of consciousness. He speaks about the true meaning of yoga, what is meditation, what is samadhi, about the time. He speaks about the soul, you, the Jiva, about Purusha, about Ishvara, about the controller and enjoyer of this world. So many topics. He explains him how to live in this world a perfect way to combine your material lifestyle with your spiritual lifestyle. To be always happy, equipoised, full of love and devotion. And he explains the whole Bhagavad Gita. And at the end, the funny thing in this book, Krishna says, now I told you everything, but you can do whatever you want, It's your free will. And he gives him 2 more instructions. Man mana bhavad mat bhakto madhyachimam namaskuru. He tells him, man mana, always think about me. Become my devotee. Render devotional service unto me. Worship me. And pay your respectful obeisances unto me. This was the first instruction. And then he said, you will come into my kingdom. And I promise you this because you're my dear friend. So Krishna makes a promise to us. If we always think about him, that's the secret. Always fill yourself with God consciousness. And then the next verse, I read this verse, no, the second time when I read this verse, I was myself in jail. It was an old thing already 3 years ago. And this time it was maybe 13 years ago. And then a few years later, I was already practicing spiritual life and I wanted to become a monk. And then they sent me to jail for something I did a long time ago, but only for a couple of months. And I already read the Bhagavad Gita once, but not fully conscious under some various substances. But I already came to the point I want to surrender. I want to give up my material suffering, and I found something better in life. And then I was in jail with two persons I know, actually friends from before, and I read with them the Bhagavad Gita. And then we finished it at the end. The last verse, this verse I tell you now, is the essence of everything. Sarva dharman parityacha mam ekam sharanam vracha. So Krishna says, after all these instructions, after he tells Arjuna to surrender, to fight, to give up his misconceptions, he talks about him happiness, distress, the nature of the soul, everything. He shows him even his own form, the divine, universal form. And then he tells him, Sava dharman parityacha. Sava means all, and dharma means our dharma, like salt is salty, water is wet. The nature of the soul means to serve. Sanatana Dharma. But Krishna speaks here about the material Dharma, the religions, the occupational duties, your activities, all your practices. He says, okay Arjuna, now I told you everything, and now give everything up. All your understanding, everything, just let it go and surrender unto me. This is the essence. And he tells him, Mokshai Shyami Ma Suchaha. I give you moksha. I will liberate you from your karma, from your burden. Ma Suchaha. Do not fear. So he tells us the secret of becoming fearless. And that means to surrender. To surrender our whole being to God, to Krishna. Because He is the only one who can take us out of our miseries. We can try with pranayama, with breath work. We can try with some meditation exercises. We can try that we make money in this world, that we have a good income, that we buy everything we need. But there will be always some fear left. When you have lots of money, lots of wealth, then you have fear of losing it. Yeah. And at the end, even if you can keep it till you're 80, 90 or 100, but then death knocks on the door. Hello, my dear. Are you ready to come? The fear of death, the fear of letting go this material world. What we're going to do then? Then everything what is left is our surrender, our devotion, our connection with God. Because in the moment of the time of death, we get very bewildered. People are peeing themselves. Yeah? Then it's very difficult to remember all the spiritual input you got. It says it's like a movie, like we see this sometimes in movies or people talking about when they leave this world, and it's like a movie. But in the scripture it is described like this, that you will live your whole life. You will see each moment. And how did you act? What did you do? That will pop up in the moment of death. When you face the death, then you will see again all the movies, all the emotions, all the desires. And what is your main thought, your main desire in this moment will determine the body you will get in your next life. If you live like the dogs, camels, pigs and asses, then you will become one of these animals. When you live a pious life, a righteous life, helping others, then you will uplift your consciousness, your body for the next life, and going in a higher planetary system where you can enjoy more, where you can have much longer lifespan. But if you live a godly life, a life of love and devotion, of service to God and to the other souls, to help others, to take up the process of God consciousness, to serve the Lord with all your heart, to think of Him all the time, to surrender everything, to just let go, to say, hey, I have nothing left, I'm all yours. I know I want to be your devotee. I know I want to come out of this misery. Because even if I take birth again and enjoy this life again and again, and have all the wealth, all the money, all the sense enjoyment in this world, what's the use? Birth, death, old age and disease. But if I surrender unto you, then I can come out of this misery. It's so easy. It's just one moment. It takes only one decision. Are you ready? I ask myself every day. I'm trying to surrender many years. But every day if I wake up, I'm following in this illusion of sleep. And I wake up and the next morning I start from zero. I have to surrender. It's not just a one-time thing. It starts with this one time. But we have to surrender every day, every hour, every minute, every single moment. We have to remember who we are and where we want to go to. And then we can live in this very moment. We can be freed from the clutches of the illusion of this material world. There will be no fear, no anxiety, no stress. You will be happy in this very lifetime, in this very moment. But it is on us, it's our decision. It's not my decision to make for you. You don't need to believe me. Try it out for yourself. Surrender yourself. Give up all your misconceptions and be happy in this life. Become free of fear and live a life of happiness, bliss, peace and wisdom. Anyways, just a few thoughts. It was quite spontaneous. I just wanted to start my live stream and get some feedback. Yes, let's get free from fear together. If you have any suggestion to me, please, I'm curious to learn, let me know. Please write some comment, let me know what is your thoughts about this topic. And I hope to see you many times more in future live streams and videos. Wish you all the best from my heart to your heart. Namaste.